Okay, folks, look, after looking at that thumbnail, you guys know exactly what I'm doing. We're gonna be doing a Salisbury steak and gravy recipe that's gonna be done my way. Now, with that being said, today's video is sponsored by Built. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to these ingredients right here, right? Look at the way I got them. I got them all separated. They measured. Everything on this side is gonna be for my gravy, and then everything on this side over here is gonna be, for my patties, right? So we got that there. And the reason this is put in the middle like this, because both of them gonna take a little salt and pepper. And don't forget, the full ingredient list will be on my website, smokinandgrillin.ab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Okay, so look, just doing a little recap, you guys see I got some ingredients, right? Remember I said in the very beginning, we separate, right? So since we're getting ready to work with our ground beef, check it out. This is everything that I need to go ahead and get these patties right. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and take this. Now this is the 80-20. You guys can use a little bit of a leaner meat if that's what you like. 90-10 works great also. Let me move this out you guys' way. We got this in here, and that's 1.5 pounds, folks. Now you wanna go ahead and just start adding your ingredients. Now this part right here, I like to just say this is the dump and go. So we'll get all of this in here. And then we're gonna go in here and work with our hands. Let me go ahead and get my spatula. All right, once we got all of this in here, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add just some of my crumbs. Let me get a spatula, let me put this in the inside. There we got this in here. Don't forget to have your hot soapy water. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. Now this is the part that gets everybody going, right? We gotta use our hands, folks. And then we don't wanna over mix it. I'm just gonna break some of this up now, and then we just start going in here like this. It's almost like making a meatloaf, folks. If you guys know how to make that meatloaf, tell me what I could have added to this to make it really that meatloaf. If you guessed the egg was missing, then you're good. I'm just gonna go ahead and just work this, kind of like folding it over the top. I don't like them to be so dense, but when we make that gravy, that keeps it hydrated too. And remember, this is not a meatloaf, right? And you can see everything on here. Now I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. And then if you guys pay attention, if you look right there, you can see how it's been seasoned. You can see what didn't get where. So we just kind of like work it. We don't want it to be so dense. We still want it to be moist, but that gravy gonna help us with that. All right, a couple of pinches. Then when it comes to the pepper, I tell you guys to grind until you get tired. Pepper right here, this is really key to a lot of dishes. People wanna know how things get tied in, especially when you're out there on the grill. Don't forget, pepper takes on a whole different taste once it starts to cook. All right, so once we got the that salt in there, I come with the rest of my, my breadcrumbs. All right, so that's done. Got my glove back on, and now we work. All right, so look, this is what we're finna do. We're finna form these patties, right? Super easy. You wanna make sure that all your patties are about the same size. And why? Because we want them to all cook at the same time and be ready at the same time. They will cook at the same time. Okay, so now we're finna form our patties, right? So I just broke these up into 4. We wanna get these to be a uniform size. That way, while they cooking, they all ready at the same size. We don't want the bigger one to have to stay in there longer, right? So I can look at these right now and tell you, I like this size. That size looks okay. This one right here could use a little help. And then all we're gonna do is shape these. Now, when you say Salisbury, some people say they gotta be like in a football shape. Some people say they can just be regular. I'm gonna make mine just regular, folks. Built is a loyalty program that lets you earn rewards just by paying your rent. Listen, it's completely free to join, and you can start earning points no matter where you live. When you pay your rent through Built, you earn Built points. And the Points Guy has ranked this the most valuable points currency out there. Those points can be redeemed for things like flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, Lyft rides, Amazon.com purchasing, and even your future rent payments. And it's not just traveling and shopping. Built also unlocks experiences and perks around your neighborhood, like dining and comedy nights, so your rent turns into an opportunity that you can enjoy. So while I finish up these patties, make sure you scan this QR code on the screen or the link in my description box below, right? It's so easy to sign up. And remember to use my URL so they know that AB sent you. All right, patties are ready. Let's get them seared up and build this rich onion mushroom gravy. Okay, so now that we got our patties formed, look, we just add just a little bit in here. Don't forget, I told you I'm using 80-20, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and let that, like heat up just a little bit. I can see what I look for a little glare. When I see my oil right there, once I see it shimmer, I know that I'm good to put it in there. Or if I just wait, it will puff back to me and tell me that it's ready to have some food put on it. We almost there, folks. Okay, so now that we got our patties ready, let's just go ahead and put these in here. Now these are kind of like a little bit on the large side. We got to get them all in here, but you see that? They barely fit in here, but that's what you want to get. You want to start with, just like that. Okay, so look, while we got our patties, they cooking, right? We're gonna go ahead and just add the rest of our ingredients minus, well, I guess I shouldn't have said rest of, because we're not gonna put our butter, our mushrooms or our onions in. But everything else, we want to just go ahead and dump this in here. Now, I got it. This is a little bit different, folks. We finna make something like really, really good. When I'm making my gravy, I normally don't, use ketchup in it. But don't forget, we're doing Salisbury steak, right? You guys gonna trust me at the end. And then this one here, I'm just gonna add it here. That's fine, because we're gonna cook it all down. It's gonna dissolve anyway. So as I mix this up, now we got that cornstarch. I'm gonna add that. Now we wanna whisk. What we don't wanna have is any lumps. This is gonna act as my thickening agent. Don't worry, folks. We're gonna get that in there. And then that sound you hear on the side of me right now, you know what that is. That's them patties. They're getting a nice sear on them. Okay, so look, I want to give you guys like a little bit of a pro tip, right? So since I use 80-20, it released a lot of, fat into my pan. Now, we got to do our onions, we got to do our mushrooms, right? We want to get some of that, that flavor in there, right? So what I did was I took a paper towel and notice how I just put it in there. You see that right there? And I'll throw this away. I don't want to get all of that out of there because look, that fine is in the bottom of my skillet. That's what's going to give it the flavor, folks, right? So now I'm going to go back on here. I'm finna start with a medium flame. We're gonna start building up some heat, but here we go. We finna add our butter. As my butter melts, right? Notice what I'm doing here. I'm gonna cut my onion just like you guys see. You guys cut your onion any kind of way you wanna do it. You can cut them in half moons. I just like the circles. I'm talking about, so when I push them in like this, look at this right here. This is what I like. Even if you mess up and they come like that, it doesn't make no difference. This is right here. We want to get some of this onion flavor to dissolve. Now, if you look at my pan, you see everything is dissolved, right? We got this going. It's nice. It's warming up. The brown is from the patties, folks, and then the seasoning, right? So now I'm getting ready to just add, look, my onions. Don't worry about the size of them. I promise you, they're going to get smaller. You know what I mean? Some of them are going to wither away. But you gotta have a little bit of onion. I don't know about y'all, but I gotta have onion in my gravy. Now here's a little brain teaser for everybody. And the reason being, look at that right there. That's just butter, right? And onion. Onion serves two purposes. For one, it's got to add that flavor. I hear people say they don't like onions, but then they say they love my food. 90% of the time, if I'm cooking something, especially if it's on the Creole, Southern, or anything of that nature, it's got onion in it, right? But it serves for another purpose also. Look at the bottom of here. Remember we had a little file around here? You got anything sticking, the acid inside this onion will pick all of that up. Then when you have something like super smooth, like this cast iron right here, look at that right there. Look, you see that? That onion pick it all up. Any of your veggies do, but onion especially, right? So when your onions get to looking like this, you know what I mean? I'm gonna let them cook for maybe one more minute, then we're gonna go ahead and start adding our mushrooms. Now I know y'all wanna see like the end result after looking at these onions like this, right? What I wanna do so bad is, I wanna put some flour in here, season it up, but I'm not. We're gonna do it this way. And that's really more so like being out of a habit, you know what I mean? But we're gonna, trust me folks, now I'm gonna add my onions. And we're gonna cook these in there with it. It might look like I'm putting a lot of onion in here, but you got to because it just kind of like cooks down itself. So we wanna make sure that it picks up some of that buttery onion goodness, right? So we just move this around and we let that heat. We want this to be nice and soft. Now, these right here are called, you guys correct me down in the comment section below, are these criminy mushrooms? But if you can't find those or something like that, don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokinandgrillin.ab.com. And that don't forget it's WITAB.com. You can always use portobello, but look at that. Tell me that, this is for all the people to be always telling me like, AB, you didn't put enough enough mushroom in there. You see that right there? We just gonna wait, look at this at the end and figure it out. Bet you'll have something else different to say on this one. All right, so now we're gonna take a couple of pinches of salt and just add this to it. You know what I mean? This is gonna enhance everything. And don't forget, once we put the beef broth in here with this concoction that I gave you guys in the recipe card, trust me, look at that right there. Anybody got some steak? All right, so if you look at it right here, this is about as far as you would like to go. I mean, it's up to you. You cooking your dish the way you want to do it, but I like it. When they soft like this, I can move them around. If I want to take one of these and just take my spatula and it just break, but it's still kind of crisp, that's good enough for now. This tells me it's time to go ahead and, bring my beef broth in. But look at those mushrooms. Look at that right there. Oh, to be honest with you, I could have put more mushroom in here. All right, now let me go ahead and re-whisk. just in case anything settled down on the bottom. I'm gonna turn everything up on high. Now I'm gonna add. Now what I did was, I reduced my fire down to a medium flame. I just want this to sort of like simmer, right? You can see it's starting back. This is good. Now I want to cook this down just for about 3 to 5 minutes. You know, you can see it already has thickened up and it smells incredible. No longer do you guys got to go buy this, you know, in the store. This right here is finna make the rotation. So now you can add it to your spaghetti, meatloaf, and all of that. AB got you. Okay, so look, I got my little tester spoon. This is how I ensure that all my food tastes great, right? Take a look. Come on down here. First of all, I always check to see how does it coat. I know we put that minced garlic in here. Don't worry, it's finna go away. But you see that right there? I look at that, and then I taste as I go, folks. I kind of like went 5 minutes. You remember these patties that some of y'all was like, ooh, they a little dark for me. Yeah, okay. Let's just go ahead and get these in here like that. But y'all see where we going with it. And then tell me, why does my voice always change when we get down to the nitty gritty? Now I'm going to take one of my tablespoons. Look at this here. You guys see where we going with it now? I'm gonna go ahead and stick a lid on here so we can cook this for about 5 minutes. And then we'll check to make sure that we got an internal temp of 165 on the patties, and then we go from there. All right, folks, so look, if you come in here, I done took enough pictures of this. I really don't need this knife, and I'm gonna show you why. You gotta have the mashed potatoes. I eat it with rice sometime, but mashed potatoes win by far. And then for those of you guys that's on that new stuff, you know we got a little bit of that asparagus, right? So if I take this right here and I just go down here like that, ooh, nice and slow. You see this right here? Oh, wait a minute, first of all, I gotta get me a mushroom. Y'all let me know down in the comment section below. Do I got enough gravy? Do I need more gravy? You see that onion? Come on in here and look at this real fast. Let me bring that over there and bring it close to y'all. You see that right there? And then if I turn it over here, you can just see super moist. Anyway, we not finna over talk it. We finna go ahead and eat it. Cheers, y'all. Hold on. Now I don't know. I don't know how I look. You know what I mean? I do watch the end of my videos or whatever, but hey, try this. This one right here is killing it. I know I make the gravy the way my grandmama had taught me and all of that, but I just want to say, if you want to get to something a little bit more authentic, but I promise you, this has a bite of soul. Despite everything that you've seen me put in there, please try this and let me know. Come on back, let's talk about it. I don't think this is gonna be one of the videos where you come back and tell me this is what I would have done. You guys would just come back and pat me on the back. You know what I mean? Take it out to the world and feed everybody. Now, let me just say this. If you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and you know what to do. Tell everybody out there, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. I don't know how to leave this video. I'm gonna just leave this right here. Y'all hurry up and look, and I'm out.